Okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this very special day. It's a beautiful day. I just wanted to say a couple of thank yous before I turn it over to Roger. Thank you to Charlie for all the hard work that she put into getting graduation set up today. A few others helped, but this was Charlie's vision. I also, and to the graduates, Michael and Ryan, first of all, congratulations. This is a great day for you, I'm sure. I'm very much looking forward to it, I can imagine. But I also want to say thank you to both of you. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to work with you guys when I came on. It was when everything went into sort of lockdown. But everything I've heard about you both, from Charlie, from the coaches, from associates, from Roger, from everybody who worked with both of you throughout your time here, what I gather from them is that you guys are exactly what EAP is about. You guys are dedicated. You put what you put into it, you guys are getting out of it. You worked hard, you're passionate, and you really took advantage of this opportunity. I personally am really excited to join the family here. Start getting to know my colleagues and members and people who are supporting the GPC and EAP extended family. And I just want to say thank you for being a part of a great place and a great future. So, Roger?
Oh, thanks, David. Thanks, David. Welcome. All right, welcome everyone. As David said, I'll try not to cry this year. It's tough. Okay, sunscreen. No, I'm just kidding. Ryan and Michael, look around us today. Look at this beautiful place that you guys have helped build. You brought life into this. Mostly because your parents paid for it. But no, more seriously, thanks so much for helping us build a culture, plant the seeds of what's here today. You guys are responsible for that, so thank you. It will be our responsibility going forward to make sure that we keep nurturing that and helping that, pay it forward, if you will, for future students. So thank you for that. Cultures are what make the world interesting, fun, scary, and worth living in. You two young men have planted the seeds here of culture at Ethan Allen Preparatory. As I said, it is now our responsibility to help keep that going. And I personally want to say thank you for that. The road is long. The road is hard. Take care of your body. Take care of your mind. Stay curious. Stay aware for yourself. The world around us wants to embrace you for who you are and want to become. Make sure you're ready for who she wants you to be. Life is not fair. Remember, you have a choice. You can choose how you react. Viktor Frankl, Holocaust survivor and psychologist, said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response." Got it? You will get back from the world what you put in. So be kind, nurturing, strong, and unwavering in your character. As you move forward, continue to discover who you are. Be patient. Take the time to help others. You will find something in them that's in you. Take the time to reflect. Hopefully, you'll fondly remember our 5 elements of success to help you stay on track with your goals and your passions. Live life with passion. Keep the desire of improving and want to improve daily. Be coachable. Find and keep good mentors around you. Believe it or not, your parents know a few things, and you'll see. They may be right. Keep yourself physically able to do the things you choose to do in life, okay? Be prepared, expect failure. Fail often, fail fast, learn, keep the growth mindset. Your passion will help with that. Always work to have the right equipment for the task that you have, okay? Can't nail a stake in the ground with a rubber hose, okay? I leave you with this. This is a quote made popular by Michael Jordan. Some people want it to happen, some people wish it to happen, and then others make it happen. You get to choose. It's up to you. It has been my honor to be a part of your life's journey. I sincerely thank you. It means a lot. Don't wear sunscreen. All right, Tyler.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you all for being here today to support these two student athletes and their accomplishments. I'm confident I know everyone in attendance here very well, but for friends and family tuning into our live stream, my name is Tyler Campbell. I'm the Director of Performance at the Golf Performance Center, and I've had the pleasure of coaching both Michael and Ryan on the physical side, in the gym, helping them build their solid athletic foundations for the duration of their time at GPC. For Michael, that started in diapers. At least it feels like it. I remember when Mike in our Learn to Play group almost 6 years ago, he would be battling it out with the Tully sisters in wall ball and regularly urging Devin Fulaski to do more backflips on the turf line. And for Ryan, his journey started with us just a few years ago as he entered his junior year and competed in the Fortnite Challenge, which was a team competition we had started with all junior golfers in the area. As soon as I met Ryan, I could tell he was ready to get after it in the gym. And man, did he get after it. He saw the record boards on the wall and was determined to get his name on every single one. He certainly knocked off quite a few, but there's still one I'm looking for him to beat. A pull-up record that a coach by the name of T-Bone still holds proudly. For now, at least. There you go. I love it. I'll be honest, I am feeling the heat a little bit. I haven't been able to work on those during COVID much. Again, I'm sure all of you here are well aware, but for those who aren't, these guys were up and at 'em pretty early throughout the week. Every single day of their week was started by seeing my smiling face at 7 a.m. for a workout. With that said, as we reflect back on the time that both Michael and Ryan have committed to their academics and their athletics, I want to commend them both on showing the commitment they have to their journey to this point. I understand it's not easy to get out of bed for a 7 a.m. workout 5 days a week. And for Michael at times, all right, let's be honest, basically every day, it may have taken a large Dunkin' Donuts coffee that always appeared to have way more cream than coffee. And for Ryan, one of Raphael's 9 egg omelets to have something to look forward to after the workout. But you were both there, consistently working hard to move better, get stronger. Well done. The strength you earn from your workouts is an obvious benefit to the regimen asked of you. But whether you realize it now or not, that was the easy part. The biggest challenge was committing to something and sticking to it. Taking advantage of the opportunity each of you had in front of you to improve your physical well-being in that 1 hour every morning. Now, it wasn't always pretty, we know that. But it's my hope that you look back on our time in the gym and can't wait to keep that ball rolling. Now is the true test to see what you're made of. Mom and Dad won't be there to wake you up in the morning. Mike, I did check. There are 7 Dunkin' Donuts in Roanoke, Virginia. But maybe add a little more coffee to that cup of cream one of these days, all right? So I was out on GPC National earlier this week, and I stopped to catch up with Michael as he was working on some wedge control after finishing his last day as a high school senior. And I shared with him what, for me, gets me out of bed every morning. Whew, I live close to the water here, sorry. I think I speak for Dennis and all of our coaches that there is nothing more rewarding than having the opportunity to coach an athlete through essentially their entire junior golf journey and athletic development, and to see them grow into the young adults and successful student athletes we're celebrating here today. To have the opportunity to impact a young person and help mold them, both socially and athletically, is something none of our coaches take for granted and strive to make the most of each time we enter the facility. Whether it's helping them discover the right answer for themselves, talking shop in the gym or in golf practice, or even the oh-so-occasional advice about what good music actually is, and maybe even how to talk to girls. This is what we as coaches take pride in. It's our challenge. Michael and Ryan, as you both turn the page in your lives and start the next chapter of your journey, I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you, athletically, academically, and socially. If the answer isn't always clear, don't stop there. Keep searching. Push yourself to get involved, meet new people, and get uncomfortable. This is an opportunity to once again raise the bar for yourself as a human, bringing your all to everything you do. Outworking, outstudying, and outperforming the next guy. That is what you have control of. You are in the driver's seat. In conclusion, as I'm sure you've heard from many who are eager to give their advice this time in your lives, the next few years are going to fly by. Trust me. I urge you both to jump into your college experiences with both feet in every way you can. And lastly, remember to be who you are and be that well. Thank you again to everyone who has supported these athletes to this point. As Dennis has quoted at Parental Ed Nights in the past, it takes a village to provide the support needed to help a young athlete reach their goals. I'd say the village has done a great job with these two. Michael and Ryan, I couldn't be more proud of you guys. I'm excited to see what comes next. Congratulations and good luck.
Thanks, Tyler. That was great. I'll try not to follow, but I might with the tears. First, I just want to say thank you to the Donnellys and the Kings. Thank you for entrusting us with those that you cherish most in this world. As Tyler said, we don't take that lightly, and we really appreciate you more than you know. I'll talk a little bit about each athlete and my time with them. First, Mr. Michael Donnelly. Michael came in, as Tyler said, it's about 5.5 years ago. It was my first year at GPC. He was a 12-year-old skinny kid in 7th grade. It was the middle of the winter, and believe it or not, I distinctly remember Michael's first night in programs at GPC. I think we were in the White Bay. It was Michael, Jackson Bevere, and myself. We were doing body swings, and Michael was just kind of looking around, quiet and trying to figure out who everybody was and, what's this place all about. I took notice that he was a very polite kid, a good athlete, and had a lot of potential. And it's really fun to see where he is today. Still polite, now a young man, probably more polite than ever. Mom and Dad, you've raised him well. Michael is someone of the highest character in a time when I think it's very difficult, or increasingly more difficult, for adolescents to stay true to themselves with social media and societal pressures. Michael stayed true to himself, and I think Michael is someone of the highest ethical standards, who lives by the highest ethical standards. Michael is steady and consistent in his approach to things, the power of which I believe is grossly underestimated, especially when it comes to golf. The journey is arduous. You have to show up day after day, week after week, year after year to get to where you want to go. And Michael has done that. Well done, Michael. So I really got to know Michael very well over the last 5.5 years, even outside of golf. One thing that you may not know, and I'm sure family does, waking Michael up is no easy task. I talked about this last year with Connor Hicks, his roommate in Florida, but Michael took it to another level. Even up here at GPC, after the workout at 7 a.m., you could catch him in the locker room about 8 a.m. taking a nap on the ottoman. He didn't fit very well on it, but he found a way to get a little 5-minute nap before his shower. Maybe that's where the iced coffee comes in. Seems like it's gotten better. A big part of our time together was the trips to Florida over the last 3 years with the Achieve program.
So I was trying to do the math. I think it was probably 10 or 11 trips that Michael did with us. Let's call it 75 days in Florida, days and evenings at the condo. So you get to know somebody's eating habits pretty well. So Michael, out of those 75 days, and this is no joke, the first 74, Michael ate Raisin Bran Crunch for breakfast. And on the 75th day, the Friday before the practice round, Wally and I are cooking breakfast for, I think there were 12 because the after-school kids came down the night before, and we got a big breakfast. We cooked 2 dozen eggs, 2 packs of bacon, and I hand out the last plate of bacon and eggs to a junior, and Michael walks into the kitchen and he asks me, "Can I have some bacon and eggs?" Somehow we found some more bacon and eggs and we gave Michael a plate. I never heard if he liked them or not. I'm sure they're not as good as Mom's. So today, Michael is a great young man, always respectful. And Michael, I'm proud to say I'm your coach. He's a good player with lots of potential. Michael, hold on to those dreams. I'd say the journey's just begun. Congratulations. Mr. Ryan King. I'm sure he's got a big smile under there. Just can't see it. And be sure nobody's got a better smile than Ryan King. Ryan came in 2 years ago, as Tyler said, entering his junior year at EAP with us, with goals of improving his golf game as quickly as possible. But we didn't see that smile enough. Ryan's a deep thinker. You could see him, kind of mulling things over as you gave him advice and explained things to him, kind of process it and see if it made sense, see if it was valid. Then he'd kind of mull you over, see if it seemed like you knew what you were talking about. That's a good quality, Ryan. Don't take anything for granted. Process it, inspect it, see if it fits into your vision. Don't change that. Ryan's determined. He's determined to figure it out. He's conscientious. And if there's a hard problem that we're confronted with, my money's on Ryan. I really got to know Ryan really well as well, outside of golf, in and outside of golf. But when it comes to golf, he did develop a bit of a love-hate relationship for a while. And don't we all? Let's just say there are a few clubs that didn't quite make the whole journey the last 2 years. I've been there and done that too, Ryan. It shows passion. It shows that adversity got the best of you for a moment, but you're still here, you're stronger, and you're more prepared for the next adversity that inevitably is going to come. So one day I was walking downstairs. So from upstairs, I was going down the stairs on the east side of the building. I turn around the corner, turn around the other corner. I go into the small gym. I hear, "Hi, Dennis." I turn. There's Ryan King, except he's upside down. So Ryan had these braces on his ankle with the hooks, and he'd hook them on the pull-up bar, and there he is. I said, "What are you doing?" "Just hanging out." So I said, "Ryan, I'm a little worried. There's nobody in here. You're by yourself. I'm a little worried to leave you by yourself." He said, "Don't worry, I got my cell phone. If I'm stuck, I'll call you." "Well, what if you pass out?" "No, I don't pass out." So needless to say, I made sure the other staff knew to keep checking on Ryan. But maybe that worked, Ryan. It seems like you got a little different perspective on things, and fortunately, I'd like to say now, we're seeing Ryan smile a lot more. I'd say today he's a thoughtful, well-spoken young man, engages in great conversation, asks intelligent questions. And for me as the golf coach, I can say I think he's enjoying the game of golf a lot more as well. Ryan, I hope you continue to enjoy what we know is a game for life. Congratulations. So just a little advice for both of you as you go off. I'm sure, as Tyler said, you're getting it from everybody. As you go off to college, I urge you not to conform to society's norms, as you've shown here that you're not. Continue to stoke the fire of curiosity and always follow your passion, for that's the mark of a fulfilling life. Remember, we're here for you. We'll continue to be a part of your journey. And best of luck on the next stage of your life.
All right, I'm not on your program. I'm John Foster. I'm proud to be our founder, Roger Nix, longtime associate and partner. in building up this enterprise. So I do want to particularly thank parents here for entrusting us with Ryan and with Michael, as we get going, or in the early years of what we hope will be something great for many years to come. So thank you very much for that trust. I can impart a little bit of knowledge here, particularly to Ryan, which is when adversity gets the best of you, make sure you helicopter it, because if you tomahawk it, you'll snap the shaft. Yeah. And I do also want to thank you two guys for your kindness in helping Tyler learn how to talk to girls. And from Roger's performance last year to Tyler's this year, in this age of contagion, I did learn myself today that tears are contagious, but especially when they are the outcome of passion. And I'm proud of the passion that everybody on staff here at GPC and at Ethan Allen Prep puts into their daily work. It's all for you, as it should be. So many of you are probably relieved that I'm announcing or introducing this year's commencement speaker versus giving the speech last year. And I'm really happy to be asked to introduce Ernest Newborn to you. I've got his corporate bio here, but I'm going to sprinkle it in with some other things that I also know about Ernest. But to read the bio, I got to do this whole thing. You're going to hear from Ernest Newborn II. He is the Senior Vice President, General Counsel, and Secretary for USI Insurance Services, an extremely acquisitive company, which means that Ernest is on the firing line every day with either completing an acquisition or contemplating a new one or something like that. And I'll tell you, it bleeds over into a lot of his time sitting there in Augusta National Golf Club. You can't be on his cell phone there, but he's sneaking off to the side or leaving early or somehow, because he's got to get on a conference call to get these deals done. That's a lot of dedication. So he's responsible for the legal health of his company, its subsidiaries and affiliates. There are numerous of them. He's the senior advisor to the board of directors on governance matters, strategic and operational concerns of the company. Talk about a man who came out of a liberal education, being asked to do everything and anything, and he does it well. That's the broad kind of education that you heard from me last year, those of you who were here, that I, with a passion, encourage anybody going to college right now to pursue. Your college education shouldn't prepare you for your first job. It should prepare you for your last job. So after graduating from Drake University, Ernest received his law degree from the University of Michigan. Anybody who knows that about Ernest would probably guess it from his golfing attire, the head covers on his golf bag, his golf shoes, his gym attire, and who knows about what's underneath. He started his legal career as a law clerk on the Indiana Supreme Court and as a trial attorney for the U.S. Employment Equal Opportunity. There's two E's in there and I can't get them right. U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. He started out as an associate general counsel for Anthem, the giant health benefits company and leading health benefits company. He was at Accordia, also in general counsel roles. But on top of that, he serves as a member of the board of directors and the past chairman of Strata Education Network, which is formerly the nation's largest education and student loan guarantor. It's now one of the nation's leading philanthropic organizations in the education space, and he oversaw that change. He also serves as a member of the board of directors of the Jackie Robinson Foundation. So ladies and gentlemen, I give you Ernest Newborn, and go blue.
Well, John, thank you for that charitable introduction. Not quite sure all those nice comments are deserved, but thank you so much. A couple of things that John didn't mention, just about University of Michigan. I have two sons, 26 and 21, and both of their rooms in our home are still painted in maize and blue. So I am pretty passionate about University of Michigan. I'm also passionate, and I'm glad that John mentioned that my other interest and activities and my other passions other than just my career. And I hope I'm not just an insurance guy, because as time has gone along, the two things that I'm most passionate about that John was kind enough to mention was my involvement with Strata Education Networks and higher education, and the commitment to increase the access for kids to higher education, kids that don't have the capability to, and the advantages that a lot of us enjoy. And then the other passion is, and I still have my pen, although I lost the back of the pen, and it's probably going to fall off, and after the ceremony I'm going to look for the back of my pen over there. But this is my Jackie Robinson pen. I'm on the board of directors of the Jackie Robinson Foundation, and that's a source of my passion. He was a great man. Everybody knows about his legendary contributions on the baseball field, but that's not what drove me to get involved with Jackie Robinson Foundation. It was more his commitment to causes of social and racial justice in America. That's the thing that drew me to Jackie Robinson. John didn't mention this because I know he didn't know it, and I don't think Roger knows it, but I'm a preacher's son. And so that's going to come in handy in a couple of things, but there's going to be a downside. It's going to come in handy because David asked me, make sure that you project because we don't have a microphone. And as a preacher's son, I got an advantage on projection. I don't have too much trouble projecting. But the downside is that growing up, I listened to thousands, and I literally mean that, thousands of sermons and speeches from my father. And I learned that by definition, speeches, particularly speeches to recognize grand occasions like this, by definition, should last at least an hour. So brace yourself. Seriously, if Roger puts me on the clock, I'll start speaking really fast. My father once told me about one of his unfortunate experiences. In our church, it was tradition for my father to greet each member of the congregation after church each Sunday. And one Sunday, after giving what my father thought was one of his most inspiring sermons, and after receiving favorable comments from most members of the congregation, my dad greeted the last gentleman in line. And he asked the gentleman, he said, what did you think of my message today? And the member replied, well, to be honest with you, I thought you spoke too long. And my father was caught a little blindsided by that remark. But he said, well, sometimes I can get caught up in the Holy Spirit and I lose track of time. And my father thought the conversation was over, but to his surprise, the member was not finished. The member said, and that's not all. You also spoke too loud. And my father was really miffed at that point and really perplexed. But he wrote it off. He said that, well, sometimes I forget that we have pretty good acoustics here in the church, and I don't need to speak as loud. At this point, as I said, my father wanted to move on, but amazingly, the member was not done yet. And he put his hand on my dad's shoulder and he looked him in the eyes and he said, Reverend Newborn, I can accept that you spoke too long, and I can even expect you spoke too loud. But really, what gets at me is that you didn't say anything. And I can promise you I can promise you I won't talk too long, and I'll try not to speak too loud, but I can't guarantee I'll say anything. I agree that delivering a commencement address is a great responsibility, unless you're looking at my own graduations for guidance. Reflecting on those speeches helped me enormously in preparing for this commencement address for Michael and Ryan, because it just turned out I can't remember a single word that was uttered at any one of my 3 commencement speeches. This liberating discovery enables me to proceed without fear that I may inadvertently steer you in the wrong direction. In all seriousness, the first thing I'd like to say is thank you. This is a special day for you, Michael and Ryan, and your families, and it's an extraordinary honor to be here with you today. Today we celebrate your significant achievement, and while you both worked hard to get here, plenty of other people helped along the way. So join me in showing appreciation for Team Michael and Team Ryan, your family, teachers, coaches, friends. This is their triumph as well. Michael and Ryan, it's been a pleasure to get to know you over the last year. You are both extremely impressive, approachable, and incredibly respectful young men. In our morning workouts, never once did you publicly joke about Tad's inability to maintain balance or my inability to rotate my torso while maintaining a stable lower body. Michael and Ryan, your achievement is even more impressive given our global pandemic and the continuing challenges and obstacles. These are challenging times for even the most experienced among us. And it has certainly been for you who are just learning how to cope and adapt when life gives you a buried lie in a short-sighted pen. I'm sure that the last couple of months is not how you envisioned the end of your senior year. Rather than social distancing, I'm sure you envisioned a lot of parties and the like. But at least you're spared the high school experience that I went through a few years ago. A week before the ceremony, my high school graduation ceremony, a few of us decided to head down to the Ozarks for a few days of pre-graduation festivities. I went to high school in Jefferson City, Missouri, and it was real close to the Ozarks. And if you're like me and been watching a lot of Netflix films, maybe you saw Ozark over the last couple of months, and very familiar with that part of our country. Anyway, while tubing on the lake, I cut open the bottom of my foot on a rusty beer can at the bottom of the lake. Long story short, I developed an infection in my foot, and I had to walk across the stage to get my diploma with the assistance of crutches. I only remember 2 things from my graduation. 1, that my father gave my benediction, and 2, that I received my diploma with the aid of crutches. But Michael and Ryan, let me share some good news. Memories of the ceremony today and the endless parties pass very quickly, and it's not what you'll remember many years later when you get as old as Roger is. What you'll remember is that your graduation marks your passage to a world where you and not others will be responsible for your life. You will decide what's important to you, what principles and values will guide your life, and what kind of career you want to pursue. Given the current state of the world, that might be kind of scary. The pandemic and the recent social unrest that have shaken up the status quo and laid bare a lot of our country's deep-seated problems. We are learning the hard way that many of the old ideas and approaches do not actually work. As former President Barack Obama recently told our country's graduating seniors, if the world's going to get better, it's going to be up to you. That realization may be kind of intimidating, but I hope it's also inspiring. with all the challenges this country faces right now, nobody can tell you that you're too young to understand or that this is the way it's always been done. Because with so much uncertainty, with everything suddenly up for grabs, this is your generation's world to shape. We'll get through it. America's gone through tough times before: Civil War, slavery, famine, disease, the Great Depression, 9/11, just to name a few. And each time we came out stronger, usually because a new generation, people like the two of you, learned from past mistakes and figured out how to make things better. Did you notice that I just put my hands to my mouth? I wasn't supposed to do that. I'm still learning. Our country is right to be focused currently on the freedoms that lie at the core of our country's democratic republic. A thought that I wanted to leave the two of you gentlemen today is sadly not talked about enough, in my humble opinion. And that's specifically the responsibility that goes along with the freedoms that we enjoy. In thinking about this question, I found myself reflecting on one of my favorite passages, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt's Four Freedoms, freedoms that he believed every person ought to enjoy. FDR believed that every person is entitled to the following four freedoms: freedom of speech, freedom of belief, freedom of want, and freedom of fear. Michael and Ryan, during your college years and beyond, you're going to learn a lot about these freedoms. And when you do, I hope you also learn to embrace that goes along with each of these freedoms. And that's namely the responsibility that you both have, and we all have, to extend freedom to others. Freedom and responsibility are essentially two sides of the same coin. Or as Jackie Robinson once put it, there's not an American in this country free until each of us is free. Let us take an example of what our country's gone through during the last couple of weeks. Freedom from fear. Everyone deserves to live free from fear. But the fact is, some people are more persecuted and more in danger than others. So those of us who have the privilege to be free from fear also have the obligation to act on behalf of others who do not. Because when our neighbor feels less vulnerable, our community becomes less vulnerable, and our democracy becomes stronger. This is true for all of our freedoms. Our freedom of speech means we have the responsibility to listen to one another. Our freedom from want means we have the responsibility to serve one another. And our freedom of belief means we have the responsibility to accept one another. This last freedom and responsibility, the responsibility to accept one another with empathy, is more crucial than ever. Our country is more diverse than our founders could have ever imagined. Our work of building and keeping a democracy has not been easy, and we know from current events it's far from finished. Michael and Ryan, unfortunately my generation, has spent far too much time mobilizing around otherness rather than around our common humanity. We are still fighting against those basic human tendencies and biases. We are still fighting against the reflected push towards exclusion rather than inclusion. But nor am I suggesting that accepting others means denying our differences as well. Watch for the flawed argument that you sometimes hear, particularly when it comes to matters of race, but in other instances as well. People will say something like, "I don't see color." Sadly, you even see this flawed argument in legal opinions from our country's appellate justices. Sometimes you see in a judicial opinion the Constitution is colorblind. But I submit to you, Michael and Ryan, that this claim of colorblindness is still a form of blindness. It erases differences rather than embrace and celebrate them. Michael and Ryan, when you get to Roanoke College and UNC Asheville, I encourage the both of you to try to accept and understand the different people that you will encounter, perhaps for the first time. Put in the time to understand people that are not like you. Learn from the perspective of students who come from families too poor to be able to afford to send their kids to EAP or GPC. Our democracy is worth fighting for. Despite those differences, we must not lose sight of all we have in common. As Dr. Martin Luther King reminds us in the letter from the Birmingham jail, we are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. I love that quote. And I believe Dr. King's words, in part because of all the progress that I've seen in my life. But my belief is strengthened by what I see in your generation. Your generation's multicultural, multi-generational demand for a more just America has been inspiring over the last few weeks. Michael and Ryan, looking into your faces, I have every confidence that you will embrace your responsibilities and expand the circle of freedoms for all of us. I implore you to seize this moment and make the America and world you want to see. This is your moment. Congratulations again. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Brittany Romagna. I've had the pleasure of working with Michael and Ryan over the past 2 years, and I'm very excited to award you guys your diplomas. So I will grab those now, and then afterwards we're going to do a toast. Oh, they're up here. So first we have Michael Donnelly. Congratulations. Very well deserved. Photo op. I said photo op. And next we have Ryan King. Congratulations. And observing social distancing, we have some drinks inside. If everybody would like to get up and grab a drink for a toast, we're going to toast Michael and Ryan's success. So if you just go in through the door here. Oh, right outside, right over there.
They are non-alcoholic, so everybody can enjoy.
Whoever wants one. No. We're taking it back. You don't deserve it now. I've got one, yeah, thank you.
Danielle, nice to meet you, Danielle.
So it looks like everybody has one. Alright. So I would like to give a toast for Michael and Ryan. I'm very excited to be here today, and I'm honored to have been asked to give this toast. It's been a pleasure getting to know Ryan and Michael over the past few years. They really are extraordinary kids, now young men. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about how proud I am of them both. starting with Ryan. I remember the first day that I met Ryan. It was over the summer, and he came in and he was talking to me about what he was doing over the summer before starting school, and he was doing statistics. He was taking a statistics course over the summer for fun. He was doing math equations willfully in August because he enjoyed learning. And at first I was like, what a weirdo, because I hate math. And then I realized this is the core of Ryan's being. He is always looking to learn and to grow. He is the epitome of the type of student that EAP tries to churn out. But we were just lucky to have him come to us that way. It was a pleasure working with Ryan. He constantly was inquisitive, like Dennis was saying and Tyler said, always asking questions, never just took things for granted and said, okay, well, if you're telling me that, it must be true. You have this curious being about you that I hope never goes away. And beyond that, you're reflective and introspective. So not only are you trying to understand the world around you, you're constantly trying to understand yourself. To Roger's point of taking that moment in between a stimulus and then your response, Ryan is constantly working on his ability to take that moment and reflect on what drives him to make his decisions. And that's something that I think goes beyond what you learn in the classroom and extends into all of the facets of your life. And I'm really proud to see that that is something that you continue working on and learning and growing. And it really has just been a pleasure to be a part of this experience with you. And I know one day you're going to be somewhere wildly successful on a TED Talk stage or something. Just give us a shout out, remember your roots. Okay, I'll stop embarrassing Ryan and turn to Michael. Michael was the first student that I ever met that came to EAP, and he was really the trailblazer of the program. And I say trailblazer and not guinea pig. He's not the guinea pig, trailblazer. And I'll tell you some things I know about Michael. Michael does what is right, even if it's hard. And Michael works hard every single day to practice his values of integrity and hard work. And these are things that some people say that they subscribe to, but day to day, they really don't. But Michael does every single day. And I think that that pattern of ethical behavior is really what makes everybody love Michael. He's the type of kid that you meet and you say, I want to see him succeed. You just can't not root for Michael. And that integrity just bleeds through into everything that he does. On the golf course, in the classroom, in life. He's the type of person that you really are proud to know. And I don't know that many people know this about Michael, but he's also a history whiz. And he gives Byron a run for his money. So he brings that to Ethan Allen Prep as well. That passion for learning and, facets of history that he's interested in. And it's kind of crazy to see how much you're able to retain and just spit out, at a moment's notice. And I know that whatever you do, whatever you sink your teeth into, whatever passion you decide on, you're going to do it extremely well. And you're going to do it your way. So I'll stop rambling now and we could raise our glasses to these two incredible seniors. Congratulations on all of the hard work that you've put in to earn these diplomas. You can turn your tassels from the right to the left. And cheers. You're welcome.
Thank you, everybody. That concludes the ceremony. There is lunch set up inside if you would like. Congratulations. Thank you.